So you're considering relocating and getting ready to move out of state. In this video, we're going to be talking about tips for moving out of the state because just like you, I was in the same situation 6 years ago when my family and I relocated from California to North Carolina. I understand it can be an exciting yet crazy and stressful time, and you'll need all the help that you can get. Now, if you're moving out of state and you've never done this before, allow me to help you learn from my mistakes. In the last decade, I've moved over 6 times and twice as many times since we've lived here in North Carolina. And I've probably moved at least twice as many more times than that in my whole lifetime. I just stopped counting after a while. Now, some of these moves have gone really smoothly, while others, not so much. So today, I'm gonna be sharing some of those things that I've learned about moving out of state to make your life a little bit Welcome to the channel, or welcome back. I'm Brandy Nemergut, a local real estate agent right here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Your connection to all things real estate and all things Raleigh. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel yet, please click the button below and tap that little bell, and you'll be notified every time we drop a new video. Not only do I love making these videos to help y'all, I also love to help you with your real estate needs. So if you're looking to relocate to the Raleigh or anywhere surrounding the Raleigh area and looking to purchase a home, we would love to help. All you have to do is reach out to me. My number's right here on the screen. Whether you want to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, we would love to help. Let's go ahead and just jump right on in. And we're gonna start with tip number 1, and that's to have a parts box. Now, this is probably one of the most valuable tips I've ever gotten. The parts box is the last thing that you're going to put into the moving truck and the first thing to come off of the truck. Now, in this box, you're gonna have things like screwdrivers, Allen wrenches, a hammer, and anything that you're gonna need for disassembling furniture, which you will now need to reassemble your furniture once you arrive at your new house. Now, one of the first things you're gonna want to put back together is probably gonna be your bed. So put all the screws that were involved when you took the bed apart in a plastic bag and label it with which bed that it actually goes to. And have the tools to reassemble the bed in this box along with all the parts. That way, as you get to your new home, you take this box off, you put it right in the middle of the kitchen on the counter where it's easy to find. And when those pieces of furniture come into the house, you can actually start assembling them. Now, you're not going to get the whole house together, but it's gonna be super fast so you can at least get the most important things like the beds to sleep in, maybe a couple chairs to sit on, and of course, a table to eat at. And if you're like my husband, the number 1 priority in the house is gonna be getting the television up. It's all about priorities, right? So starting to put these things back together so we can minimize the disruption and possibly make things a little bit easier, especially for the children because they'll probably be climbing up the walls. You'll also want to have baby wipes, toilet paper, some paper towels, maybe even some simple cleaning supplies, especially if you have kids running around. Maybe have a little toy for them to keep them occupied. And then having all these cleaning supplies, you can wipe things down, especially in the kitchen areas, the cabinets, the bathrooms. It'll definitely make you feel a lot better, and it'll have that clean feel that you definitely want. Tip number 2, plan your move as early as possible. Now, I know sometimes that's not possible. In my case, I was given 3 weeks to move, and I moved sight unseen, and I really knew absolutely nothing about the area. Talk about a lot of stress and crunch time. So find a moving truck can be difficult, especially on short notice. So you'll want to plan as far in advance as you can, just in case a lot of people are moving at the same time as you. Tip number 3, it's going to be temporary storage. Now, I'm sure you've heard about pods. I think U-Haul also has their version of pods, which is where they actually deliver the container to your house. I know my neighbor actually just recently did this, and I got to see it firsthand. They actually drop this thing off and then they end up picking it up again. It's just super simple and easy. They drop the container off, you load in all your stuff, and then they come back and pick up the container. And then they'll take it away and store it on site somewhere. And here in the Raleigh-Durham Chapel Hill Triangle area, we have storage facilities here too. So if you're moving here and you're not quite ready to put all your stuff in the house, maybe you haven't closed on your house yet, or you have a few more weeks, or maybe you even decided to do a short-term Airbnb while you're house shopping. They'll actually put the pod in storage until you take possession of your house, and you'll be able to move your furniture in then. Tip number 4 is gonna be to make sure that you get all of your utilities turned on before you move into your house. I know that sounds pretty simple, but there's nothing worse than showing up at a house and realizing you have no running water or no electricity. So if you're moving to the area, whether you're buying a home or renting a home, find out who you're gonna need to contact in order to get the utilities put into your name prior to your arrival. Tip number 5, and this might be the most important of all, and that's gonna be to vet your moving company. And as they say in the South, boy howdy, did I learn this lesson the hard way. When we moved from California to North Carolina, my husband's company wasn't going to be paying for the move. So I did all my research, got my biddings from multiple moving companies, and one company actually came in literally half the price of everyone else. So when I told the other companies who had called to follow up that I had chosen this particular moving company, they actually acted confused and said, how is this even possible? And they even begged me. They said, you might want to read online the reviews and ask them, give them a call. Just say, hey, why are you so much less expensive? We couldn't possibly do it for this small price unless, I don't know, there's something wrong. Just definitely check it out. So of course, I did look online. It had really great reviews. So I just figured, you're just trying to win my business. So you're just trying to badmouth this competition. Well, moving day came and here's what happened. So the moving company showed up, they loaded up all our stuff into the truck, and on Friday, they were supposed to drive to the next location. And then they would end up meeting us on Monday, unload the truck at our rental house in Clayton, North Carolina. But wouldn't you know it, they didn't show up. So we give them a call and we're like, hey guys, we're at our new location, where are you? And turns out they weren't able to deliver to us because unfortunately their truck was not full. They said they needed to get another job loaded before they could come and drop off our stuff. So then there was that aha moment. That's where the fine print came in that I did not read or see. And if that weren't kicker enough, the area was also experiencing a snowstorm that they hadn't seen in over a decade. So that actually further delayed the moving company, as they had 2 prior stops in other states that were dealing with even more snow. So we actually had to live in an empty house for 2.5 weeks with no furniture, no sheets, no towels, no plates, no cups, no bowls. Get where I'm going with this. All we had was our suitcase with a couple of outfits. Because after all, we were supposed to stay in a hotel for 2 nights, so we really didn't bring any stuff. So what did we do? We ended up going to Walmart, and of course, number 1 item, my husband had to buy a TV because of course we gotta have priorities, right? So then of course we were living off disposable plates, cups, forks, grabbed some towels, folding chairs, sleeping bags, pillows, you name it, all the stuff that we don't need to buy. And of course our sweet agent called us a week later and was like, hey, how y'all doing? Are you settling in good? So I told her what was happening and she says, oh my gosh, bless your hearts. What can I bring you? So she ended up letting us borrow some camping cots, and she gave us a big pot that I could make some 1-pot meals in. It was definitely a waste of money on stuff that we would probably never use again. And now we have enough TVs for every room in our house, all because we were trying to save a buck by going with the least expensive moving company. Now we had read the online reviews, which looked pretty good. However, after further digging and visiting the Better Business Bureau website, I saw a slew of similar complaints of what we had just experienced. So if you're comparing moving companies, I know they can be very expensive and you're trying to do everything that you can to save money, but please read the fine print and make sure that you don't lose a ton of time and you don't learn the lesson the way that I did in order to save money when you're moving. You can always do your own packing rather than let the company pack up your boxes. You can buy the supplies, the tapes, packing peanuts, bubble wrap, the boxes, or you can even reach out to Facebook. Sometimes someone local or maybe even someone you know just moved and they had the boxes left over to throw out, and now they can actually give them to you instead. You can save some money on the cross-country move or that out-of-state move, but boy howdy, if they come in significantly lower than all the competition, there's probably definitely a reason. So you're gonna wanna find out so you don't find out that reason like I did. Trust me on that one. Tip number 6, if you're selling a house in one state and then buying a house in the next state, now how do we do that? What are the logistics of making that happen? Did you know that you can actually have it happen on the same day through a contingent closing? Now this usually works well if you're in town already and you're selling a house and buying a house in the same general area. If you're doing it out of state, you're gonna wanna allow a little bit more time. Perhaps you close on the sale of a house on a Tuesday, for example, and then you close on the purchase of the next house on that Wednesday or Thursday. I would say just allow yourself a couple of days of padding just to be safe. Now in North Carolina, when we say we're gonna close on X day, it typically closes on X day. However, coming from California, I bought several homes and there always seemed to be some delay for one reason or another. And you definitely don't want to be homeless or living in a hotel if you don't want to. Now in a perfect world, the homes will close concurrently, but again, just to be safe, just plan that there might be a couple days in between. So there's no stress. You can plan on even staying in a hotel, maybe with some family or friends. And then if you do close in time, you can always cancel your hotel booking. And you also don't want your moving truck showing up to the house that didn't close. And now you can't take delivery. And if they take it back to storage, not only do you have to pay additional storage fees, but there's no guarantee how quickly they can come back to re-deliver your stuff. So definitely just plan accordingly. The more you can plan in advance and allow for things that may go wrong, the less stress there's gonna be for you in the end. Which brings me to tip number 7. I wish I would have taken my own advice on this, and that's to have a yard sale or sell things on Facebook Market or even donate to a local charity before you move. Not after you arrive at your new location. Now I don't know why we always do this. We pack all this stuff, we take it to the new house, we get there only to decide that we really don't have room for it, or now we just decide we're not gonna use it anymore. Then we either have to sell it at a yard sale or Facebook Market or donate it to charity. So definitely do yourself a favor and do this in advance, because now not only are you paying to move this stuff that now you're really not gonna use at your new location, and sometimes things are just so heavy or take up so much space that it costs less just to leave it behind and buy a new one than it does to pay to move the thing. For example, say you have a gun safe or maybe a pool table or even a piano. These things are gonna be really big, heavy, and awkward to move. And sometimes it just makes sense to leave it behind and get a new one when you get there. Or you may find that's not even necessary when you get there. I know in recent years, I've seen so many free pianos listed on Facebook Market with comments that they're moving, they're not gonna be able to take it with them. Or maybe you have that big formal dining room table and it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg to move it because it weighs a ton. And then you get to your new house and you realize you've really only used this 3 or 4 times in the last years, and you start asking yourself, am I even gonna lug this thing? And now many of the newer homes that are being built, they don't even have formal dining areas, as many families are opting not to use them anymore. So prior to moving, have a yard sale, get rid of any of that extra stuff before you pack and move. So those are my 7 tips for moving out of state with as little hassle as possible. If you found this information helpful, please click the like button so others like you can find this information as well. And if you're considering relocating to the Raleigh area or anywhere surrounding the Raleigh area and looking to purchase a home, we would love to help you. All you have to do is reach out to us. My number's right here on the screen. Whether you want to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, we would love to chat. Till next time, we'll see y'all later.